sort of spraying AI at your users is almost never productive. And I've certainly heard CEOs say something like, I need to force my employees to use AI, which to me is like, 1997 saying, oh, I need to force all my staff to use the web. You're going to need to be a lot more specific about why and what you're hoping to achieve and what people are supposed to do with this. I think there's a lot of sort of fear about what this means for employment, particularly sort of graduate employment. We've gone through many waves of automation before, and yet we still have jobs. 90% of us were peasants 200 years ago. Were you worried about the harvest? Think about what computers did to employment. Think about what the internet did to employment. And the answer is always, well, there are some industries that kind of go away. There are some industries where you do the same work or more with a tenth as many people. But then there have been these waves of new jobs and these waves of new things that you do because of this new technology. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of a priori reason why this would be any different from that. Those changes also come with friction. And, if you were employed as a typesetter at a newspaper in the 80s, that was pretty painful. But the net result has been better for all of us. The challenge with this new technology is clearly it can automate a bunch of stuff. And that's always like the first easy, obvious thing to do with it. We'll automate a bunch of stuff that was manual processes. Great. But then comes other kinds of innovation. Then you go from kind of bottom line innovation to top line innovation. And you have new kinds of businesses and new kinds of companies and new possibilities. There's a joke I always make about this, which is that like before Excel, junior investment bankers worked really long hours. But now thanks to Excel, Goldman's associates can leave work on Fridays at lunchtime. And I thought, well, why is that not what happened? Yeah. Maybe one of the kind of the most productive but also kind of useful way to think about this is just to think about price elasticity. If you make it much cheaper and much easier and much quicker to do something, what happens? It might be that you do that work with many fewer people, but that's not the only thing that can happen. It may also be that you do much more work with the same number of people, or it may be that you do a whole new thing that you couldn't have done before because you've got this new thing, which of course is what happened with computers and the internet and every new technology. And I don't think there's any particular reason to think this will be different.